So, a topic that has been brought up frequently in the cryptocurrency world, and that is Bitcoin and gold. What is the correlation? Is it a good hold of wealth? Can it store value? Is it a good long-term hold of wealth? Can it protect you against financial crashes? We don't really know yet. And that is because we're going from two different time zones. We can see here, gold itself, looking at the chart, has been an incredible store of value since around 2001, up to around 2011. However, from 2011 to 2016, it's been a catastrophic fall. Although in the longer term, and I can imagine in 10-20 years time, this will be absolutely minimal, we cannot take and choose between two. So if we go back previously, it has over the years, since the chart started in 1971, we have of course gone from practically zero to around an overall high of $2,000. Now looking at Bitcoin, we've already exceeded this almost triple. In fact, we have just hit triple today. So we're looking at two different time zones here. Whereas Bitcoin has done this in roughly 6-7 years, it's taken gold a much longer time. So we're going with two completely different investment criteria. And in my opinion, whilst Bitcoin may get you there faster, it does not necessarily mean it will sustain there for the longer period. Now, the way I see this is, Bitcoin is essentially digital gold. There's no doubt about it. However, this is because Bitcoin is the only real alternative to gold we have that is digital. So for the time being, it's the only option we have to actually invest in. However, we have to understand the gain has happened so fast. And although there is limited amount of Bitcoins, just like there's a limited amount of gold, we will eventually reach our limit on how much we can mine. So this may drive the value up over the short term, but this does not necessarily mean the value will sustain over 10 years, 20 years or 30 years. And the truth is, even if it does, we do not know right now. And that is because we've only been around since, in this chart, 2012. And again, if you go to the XAU USD pair, just like Bitcoin, we've started since 1971. So we have a much longer term outlook on this. So we can see no matter what has happened, gold, physical gold, has sustained through all kinds of financial and market crashes. So for me personally, if I needed a store of value, I would continue to put my money in gold, especially as a hedge against currency crashes, market crashes. There could be scandals. Gold will usually sustain during these events and incidents. With Bitcoin, however, that would be my alternative to a bank account as an example, and a quick turn gain. If I wanted my money to be safe over the next 5-10 years and also grow substantially in value, then I would definitely be putting my money in Bitcoin. However, we cannot get mixed up with the fact this is not real gold. And do not get me wrong, I do believe the fundamental assets are there for it to become an extremely worthwhile investment. But for the longer term and securing your wealth, Bitcoin is extremely volatile. I mean, as you can see already, jumps like this from almost $2,000 to $6,000. We went from June to October. That was all it took to jump $4,000. Now we go to gold, and you can see a jump of that equivalent has not even happened yet over the span of decades and decades, and we have not even achieved a breach of $2,000. So you can see where the sustainability and the actual security of gold comes in terms of long-term asset security. So with Bitcoin, go back one more time, just from the daily chart, we look at the swings and we can see a nice steady increase over time. And again, that's only because we've barely been around long enough to see what will really happen. Due to the nature of this currency market, cryptocurrencies can easily be replaced in 5-10 years by a better crypto. We're at that current time where there's a lot of new contenders coming forward, and Bitcoin's usability, especially as a currency, is not sustaining. Therefore, we're having hard fork after hard fork, and other coins are coming up with better use cases, faster payments, lower transaction fees. So right now we're at the guessing stage. All it takes is one competitive coin to actually be adopted by the mainstream, and Bitcoin's real value will slowly be diminished. And just because it's the main contender now and the leader, and especially because it has the largest market cap, it does not mean in a decade's time it will be worth the same as it is now, whereas another coin may be worth 10,000, or gold may increase to the similar value. For all we know, they could also correlate together. But for the time being, do not see this as a way of securing a digital gold. Just see this like a regular cryptocurrency investment, a long-term investment for that matter. However, when it's rising as fast as it is now, do expect reverses and crashes in the same percentage. Therefore, I'm talking 30% to 70% crashes are extremely likely. We've seen Bitcoin fall from highs of 3,000 before. We've seen it fall from 2,000. We're now roughly and potentially going to see it fall from 7,000 back to 5,000. Falls in value of several thousand% or several $1,000s is not sustainable over the long term and is very volatile, and this will not be adopted, especially by the older generation or longer term investors, as it is a very volatile asset to have in a portfolio. So guys, just take this into consideration. Always do your research when trying to go down the route of finding a long-term investment. But overall, they're both great for long term. However, to store your value, I would potentially stick with gold. If you want to make some great money, Bitcoin. That's all for this lesson, guys. Thank you.